Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. First day on the job, and we're going to remove the existing hardwood floor. Here's kind of the process to remove it. We took just a regular skill saw, a wood blade, and just started ripping it up into smaller pieces. Then we used the jackhammer. You just start popping it up. It's not easy to get up hardwood that's glued down on the floor. It's a very tedious process. And over here, this is actually a 8-inch drop. We're going to fill it up with concrete and make a nice usable room out of it. Here's some flashing, some exposed wood here, so I put some aluminum flashing on it. That first step, we're just going to pour right over it, and we're going to come up to the top of the travertine tiles, because what's going to happen since we're coming to the top of the travertine here, the hardwood at this other end, we're coming to the top of that. This whole house is getting raised over the existing with a new hardwood. A new type of hardwood is going to cover everything. They don't really like the travertine tile. They says it gets cold, it's hard, it's not real comfortable. So they're going with something that's a little bit more friendly. Right between these walls right here, that it used to have a short wall going across, so that room was completely sealed off right here. Had a short little wall about 2 or 3 feet tall. You could see in the other room. That was about it. You couldn't walk in there. And then it had another wall. You can see the notch out in the wall by the door that came across, a little banister came across there. So you had one access into that room where that step is. That was about it. And this room where the camera's sitting is only about an 8x8. So you can see how cramped that got. But with this little wall removed and now everything at the same level, it just makes this house seem so huge. And it's got the vaulted ceilings too, so that's not a problem. It's not like you're impeding on the height because it's all vaulted. So we got the aluminum flashing in. We've got the 3/8-inch Owens Corning pink bar in there. And now we're hanging some plastic. The reason I really hang the plastic I'm hanging, it's not just for splattering, which is not a big deal because it's going to obviously get painted anyway because you got to get the baseboards, and all that stuff. So, and then you've raised the electrical outlets. The homeowner actually raised the electrical outlets himself. He did a clean job, I must admit. I mean, I've seen some of these get raised up. You got massive holes in the wall and just a real mess. Drywall's cracked and bro. This is a pretty clean operation what he did here. And then, so the plastic, what I really use it for is the water. The water in the concrete, I don't want it to absorb into the drywall. So that's what the plastic is really doing, preventing that from happening. The interesting thing about this homeowner, because I talked to all the homeowners quite a bit, and he's actually a movie producer, and he gave me a lot of tips on operating these cameras, and he actually did some of the filming here, some of the close-ups during the pour, which we're going to be utilizing. He actually gave us that clip in the beginning too of the floor removal, hardwood floor removal, and he put a bonder on here as well. I left him some bonder. He spread it out the day before the pour, and it was really tacky when I was walking around out here. So it's going to really work good. Anyway, yeah, he worked with the Kardashians. He showed me some footage from commercials he did with them. He worked with, let's see, who else was it? Oh, yeah, Sylvester Stallone. A few, because he's pretty close to Hollywood here in Orange, so yes, he doesn't mind driving there and doing some work from time to time. Now this concrete, this is a 3250 psi. It's a city mix. It's what I call a city mix because it doesn't have any fly ash. All your public works don't like fly ash. So, I mean, I don't really know the technical reasoning for that, but I mean, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. That's what I figure. And what I found, besides not having fly ash, it does set a little quicker, which is a nice benefit when you're pouring inside on top of concrete or in the shade. So I kind of like the mix without the fly ash, to be honest. If if I don't want to put any accelerator in there, so you go that route and you kind of get the same thing. Yeah, I was looking at some of those commercials that he was showing me that he had produced with the Kardashians, and they were only about 10 years old, 8 years old at that time. So it's been a while since he did anything like that. I have my 4-foot magnesium bowl float also available, but I'm going to hit it with the wood initially, this little 3-footer, and then I'm going to let that bleed a bit, the water bleed out, and then once it gets to a point where all that bleed water is gone, I'll hit it with my magnesium 4-foot and really try to get it flat with that one. And you'll see that one coming up pretty soon, and you can kind of see where I had to work the concrete pretty vigorously to try to knock out some, uneven areas. Here's the movie producer right here. He's got his GoPro out on a. He modified his little stick that he holds it on to where he can extend that thing out about 10 feet. He did a customized stick on it, which came in handy for an aerial view of this slab. Now you can see here the bleed water is pretty much gone, and now I'm running the 4-foot. See, notice how I work half of the job at a time, like about a 5-foot section. Just keep working that, remove a pole, then I can work the second portion of the slab. And I'm rubbing it quite a bit back and forth. Now I got Big Blue out. You know what I did? We went and ate breakfast. Me and my son Tyler, there on the knee boards, we went and ate breakfast after I hit it with the mag bowl float. We came back, so we thought we had some time. We went, wow, this stuff really went off. And, we had to kind of get down to business, you might say, pretty quick on this. Because it was, what happens with concrete is it generates heat. And that's what is happening with it. It's a chemical reaction. And as it generates that heat, as soon as that concrete hits a certain temperature, it really snaps off. And that's what happened. Because when we left to go eat breakfast, you could stick your finger all the way in and bury it in the concrete. That's how soft it was. And when we got back, we immediately scrambled for trowels and sliders to try to knock this thing into shape. So that's a little risk you might want to consider taking if you ever do one of these. Especially, let's just say you take off, and there's no one on the job to finish it. You're on the road, you went to eat, your vehicle breaks down. There's a lot of things you have to consider. Or maybe you get in a car crash. Who knows? Then what happens? But yeah, probably not a good idea to leave the job site when the concrete's on the ground, unless you have someone else there that can finish it. And that blue tape I put on there really did a nice job of keeping the edges clean. Although it really doesn't matter because this whole floor is getting covered anyway. I don't know if you noticed it, but I have a new laser level now. DeWalt upgraded me to one of their best lasers. And I used it here for the first time, and I had it just sitting on this wood floor, and it was so bright I could see the line on the wall crystal clear, and I just measured down from that laser level and marked it up, and I found that this floor, the actual travertine is 5/8 inch higher near the door than the hardwood in the dining room. So there is a 5/8 inch slope. That's really typical, and that's not very much. I've seen a lot worse. So we went ahead and still matched the existing floors. That's all you can do. But if you were to drop a marble on there, it probably wouldn't even roll. It's that subtle. Anyway, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification button. That way you'll be notified on our next upload. Have a good day.